Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Coach's Kage Show on 3KG, thekage.com. Bob Kurtz along with Bill Kay, Scotty Miller controlling the camera and the board tonight. And we have most of the Eastern time coaches in the Arnie's right now here, right across from St. Joseph's College. And we're kicking off with Brian Heimlich from the North White Lady Vikings. Good to see you, Brian. How's it going?
Good, thanks.
All right, let's recap 2 games.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Yeah, so last week we went on the road last Thursday to Rossville. And really, we started off, I thought, fairly well. Defensively we were a little slow to begin with. But I think we were down 17-9 at the end of the first quarter. And, they came out in a 1-3-1 half-court trap, which we expected. And, we were throwing diagonal passes and something we hadn't been doing early on in the season, and were able to break it and got them to come out of that actually. And they get in the second quarter, and then all of a sudden we just could not shoot the basketball. It had nothing to do with turnovers. We were getting shots, just could not score. I mean, there was one trip. We got a steal, wide open layup, miss it. Another girl gets a rebound, misses it, and it's tipped out, and all of a sudden they've got a layup at the other end. And that was we could have cut it 17-11. It went 19-9 there, and it was probably halfway through the second quarter already. And that was just kind of how our season's gone so far. We get things like that, just little momentum changes where it's 6-point game, now it's 10-point game, and now it makes it a little harder, especially when you're a team that doesn't score the ball very well. You just can't have that kind of momentum changes. And it ended up we didn't score at all in the second quarter, and so we're down 23-9. I mean, defensively we held them to 6. So I mean, we didn't give up a lot in that second quarter. So defensively we played well, but it just puts a lot of pressure on your defense when you can't score. In that game, I thought Sable George had played one of her better games as our point guard. She really came out and I thought handled the ball fairly well and was really looking ahead and making some extra passes. And off the bench, Abigail Tribbett, I thought, gave us some good minutes defensively. She was very active, and offensively, we're still trying to get her to play with a little more confidence and want her to have the ball in her hands. But defensively, she has a quickness about her. She's not real tall, but she really is active. And I thought she did a good job in the second half of really putting pressure on Rossville. And we just could never get to where we could get over the hump. I mean, I think we cut it to 10-9 a couple times, just never could get it back under that. And it ended up 37-23 loss. But I said, I mean, it was one quarter that really killed us. That second quarter, just when you don't score in a quarter, that's huge. It's really hard to overcome. Yeah. And it really, that was probably the first game where we really didn't turn the ball over that cost us. It was just we couldn't shoot the basketball. I mean, we had a lot of open looks and just didn't knock them in. I think we ended up shooting right around 22%, and it's hard to win games like that. And I think we'd have been right there. I think we ended the night with 16 turnovers, which is really good for us. We've been averaging closer to 30, so that was nice to see. But then this week, last night we came. We were at our place. West Central came down for a conference game, and we knew coming in. I mean, they're an aggressive team. They're a lot more experienced they've been in the past. They've been, I think they'd come in with 2 wins, but when you look at who they played and what they've done, they've been in about every game. They've really played well. Got some seniors in that group with Sharp girl as her point guard and real aggressive out front, and then Smith as a post player. And so we knew they were going to put some pressure on us. We were going to have to handle that and just handle the physicality. First quarter, I thought we did a nice job defensively. We held them to 5 points. I think it was 5-4 after one, but we were just turning the ball over. We were getting tons of opportunities. Just we would give it right back. We would get stops. We would give it right back. And but again, we're right in the game. 5-4. Second quarter, I think it's 9-8 with about 6 minutes to go still. And then we get in one of those scoring droughts, and we don't score the rest of the quarter. We're still getting stops. I mean, it's 13-8 with probably 2 minutes left. They score, with under a minute to go, and 15-8. So you're down 7, but it's not bad. I mean, you're down 7 going into halftime. But we just had too many turnovers. We had 20 turnovers at the half, and second half, we knew what we had to correct. We let them kind of dictate what we were doing too much. We didn't really attack when we needed to, or kind of let them push us around a little bit on the offensive end, and ended up getting away from us in that third quarter. Actually, we didn't score in the third quarter. The second quarter, we didn't score the last 6 minutes, and then the third quarter, we didn't score at all. So, I mean, here we go again. Now we've got 14 straight minutes without scoring. And, I mean, we told the girls after the game, I mean, defensively, we're doing a job. I think we're getting there. We're really improving and being more active and being physical, getting rebounds. But it's hard to win or even put yourself in position to, win when you're not scoring the basketball. And
are they getting good shots?
Well, last night we were turning the ball over. I mean, that was the main thing. We still are, in situations we were breaking. They were throwing a little 1-3-1 trap at us, and we'd break it at times, and then, we just don't make the right decisions. You get a little 3-on-2, 2-on-1, those types of situations where maybe we need to go one more step with the dribble and then jump stop and maybe, even pass fakes, things like that. We're still – that's the stuff we have to get better at. And so then, if we don't pass fake, we telegraph what we're passing it. And so we just got to get better at that. And, it's something we did tonight, practice. It just made them pass fake in every possession, kind of overemphasizing it. I mean, that's not something you need to do every possession, but, it's something that we've got to make sure it's in their head that they have to do that and just slow down a little bit.
Does that become a mental thing after a while?
Well, part of it, I think, is, I mean, West Central, I mean, in some of these teams we played, they're physically stronger than us. I mean, they just are physically stronger, and I think we kind of shy away from contact, and so then we just want to get rid of the ball quickly and times, and so I think that's a big part of it. And so it is mental. I mean, that comes back to that. I mean, that is mental. I mean, if you're not strong and physical enough, then it becomes mental. You want to get rid of the basketball. And then, I mean, we showed some film tonight. We watched more film tonight than normal right before a game, but just wanted to show them some things from that first half. We had a lot of opportunity in that first half. We just weren't making the right decisions, and we had some places where we could, seal some girls off, and maybe we even had a 3-on-1 or just throwing the ball, ahead and had an easy layup. And it's youth too. I mean, part of it is a lot of these girls have not been in that, and it's a faster speed. And like I said, West Central's experienced, and it just kind of wore on you, and it puts a lot of pressure on your defense. Like I said, when you can't score and it becomes 3 minutes, now it's 6 minutes, now it's 10 minutes, and you've gotten some stops, but you can't expect to get that many stops in a row and be able to stay in the game. So we've got to find a way to get some scoring opportunities somehow.
Brian, you've coached both boys and girls in the past. What's the difference for weight room work, and how much do they, lift and then try to get stronger compared to boys or girls? Do the boys are in the weight room a lot more than girls, or the girls shy away from that? Or
no, not necessarily. I mean, it's the schedule. When I was coaching boys, especially during the season, the schedule's a lot different, where I think it lends itself to be able to be in the weight room, at least where when I was at West Central, we played most Friday and Saturday nights, so we would be in the weight room in season, maybe not doing the same stuff you do out of season, but we would be in there Monday, Wednesdays, consistently. And, I remember, Gina Hurlmeyer was the coach there at the time, saying it's harder for the girls just because of their schedule that we play. I mean, you play Tuesday, Thursday during the week. I mean, usually you're in school. I mean, you got, they're getting up. I mean, and you're getting ready for the next game. It's a lot harder to get in there and get through that. Here at girls, we've had, my daughter, she lifted a lot on her own. I kind of told her that she needed to be in the weight room, and she did a lot of it on her own. I know Hannah Ball, when we had her, was another one she did a lot of lifting on her own time. But we've also added some weightlifting classes during the school day, with that group that graduated a couple years ago, there's some back-to-back classes in there that we tried to get them, we wanted them to be in those classes so that it's easier, I think, for the girls to be in there during the school day. Just time commitment wise, they can get it done during the day and not have to come in maybe at 6 a.m. or be after practice or whatever. So we want them to be in the weight room, but it is a lot harder, especially during the season, for girls to get in there. Just because volleyball too. They're playing 3 games during the week during volleyball, whereas football you're playing Friday nights.
Right.
I think just the schedule-wise during seasons is a lot harder for the girls than it is the boys. But, that is part of it. We're young, too. So, there's girls that will get in there. I think they'll get stronger. Autumn Rife, I know, is one that really is bought into that. And I think we've got some others that are starting to do that as well. So I think they'll get there. And, I think West Central, some of these teams, I said, that's part of it. These teams are more physical, and they've been in that weight room. So.
What's up next?
Yeah, so tomorrow night, Pioneer comes over to our place. They I think they beat Logansport last week, so they've got the one win under their belt. And it's a team that I think if we play well and can take care of the basketball, it should be a competitive game. It's going to come down to how we can take care of the basketball. Defensively they're aggressive a little bit in the full court, but I don't think they're as a physical team as West Central was. But as I said, it will come down to offensively we take care of the basketball, and then Tri-Township comes with the boys-girls doubleheader on Saturday over at our place, and they're a team that's 8-0 right now, playing very well. Physical team. I haven't watched a ton of film on them yet. Just I know Tyson had played them early, and he said they're a very physical team. And so when they're saying that, and we say West Central's physical, then we know they're going to be a physical team as well. So, that one will really have to be be ready for physicality wise.
And anything next Tuesday or so, or not?
So then next Tuesday, yes, we go on the road. We've had 5 home games in a row, I think, or 5 out of 6 anyway, because we were at Rossville. But then we go on the road, North Judson. Go up to North Judson next Tuesday.
Brian, thanks for coming over, and we'll see you next week, all
right?
right?
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Brian Heimlich from the North White Lady Vikings. Back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3KGthecage.com right after this.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
Coach number 2, Daniel Jakes, assistant coach for North White boys team, has joined us. Daniel, good evening. How you doing?
Doing well. Glad to see you're doing all right.
Yeah, I had a little rough week last week, but back on the mend now, so good to be back. Let's talk 2 games to talk about. I'm going to turn it over to you.
All righty, yeah. Played a really solid Attica team. You know, the score a little bit deceiving.
Last Friday?
Yeah, last Friday. Sorry.
Okay.
You know, they came in. They got some size. You know, they haven't won a lot of games recently, but they're gonna sneak up on somebody, and they're gonna get some wins this year. And they've been working hard, and you can tell they play hard. They don't give you any space, so they do well. They're gonna do well this year. And then played at Rossville Saturday. And
Now, wait a minute. You got to give us some of the stats there.
Stats.
Yeah.
I
You can remember.
want to say Dane Hood had 21 again, 21 points. You know, he's just doing his thing for us. You know, I can't recall too many other stats off the top of the head, but I know that we were pretty happy with the 8 guys that played. Charlie, one of our freshmen, Charlie, got in crunch time and got a buzzer beater bucket before the game ended, and shook his hand in the post game talk and said only 998 points from 1,000 now. So
There you go.
something to work for.
That's right.
And then
All right.
played at Rossville Saturday. You know they just have a great foundation. Corey's done a great job with that program. They got some guys, Braden Thiel, Han, and Charlie Thompson. You know, those 2 guys can just shoot the lights out of the gym. So it was we didn't play as well as we would have liked, but you know we were pretty happy with where we were in the game, and you know I think just building blocks for us moving forward.
So what's your record so far?
2-2.
Are you happy with where you're at right now or no?
You know, obviously you want to be 4-0, but you know I don't think. You know, I don't think anybody expected us to go, 24-0, but we feel good. We feel good. We're building something. I mean, we had a great practice tonight, building towards Rensselaer Friday, and then Tri-Township Saturday. So we feel pretty good about where we're at. I feel like a broken record coming on every week saying, we're just building towards sectional. We don't want to peak too early. We want to peak late, and we just want to get better and build ourselves up.
Dane Hood has really been somebody that's you guys can just count on almost every game.
Yeah, Dane's a phenomenal player. I mean, his length, size, strength. I mean, he's a strong dude for 6'3", 6'4". So he's just our guy. I don't think that there's anything doubtful about that. But our supporting cast has really stepped up for us. Brother Chandler, I mean, he's been awesome for us. He's not, putting up 20 and 10, but, he's doing stuff defensively, blockouts, talking. I think that's something that we've been extremely happy with is just our communication on the defensive end. So,
what do you need to work on, and what are some of the things that you've seen that are going well for you right now through 4 games?
Through 4 games, like I said, I mean, we're really happy with how we look defensively. Defensively, I think, is kind of our calling card for this team, and turning defense to offense is something that we really want to work on moving forward. Getting out transition, running a little bit more. Something that we need to work on, just executing. Being able to come out, run stuff, get to our spots a little bit quicker. So, that comes with the territory. New coach, getting accustomed to things. So we're not too worried about it. Still happening in February. Then we'll have some concerns. But these guys are smart guys. They play hard. They come in every day. They bust their butts. So we're pretty happy with where we are.
How is it responding to a new coach, new coaching staff? Are the players? I know Joe was around last year. Mm-hmm. Are they adjusting to him well, or still a learning process?
I mean, I think it's a learning process on both ends. Joe been an assistant past couple years. So I mean, I know that he's still kind of getting back into the swing of things, being at the head of a program. But I mean, he knows what he's doing. So we'll all figure it out eventually. I mean, I don't have any worries about Joe getting things back in line. But I mean, kids are kids. We're testing this week for NWEA, so academics come first, and we'll get them figured out on the basketball court eventually.
Daniel, is it your goal to be a head coach, varsity coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anybody in the state of Indiana should want to coach high school basketball, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
But I mean, like I said on our first show, what a better guy to learn from than Joe. I mean, just so much experience, and he tells me he wants me to be more vocal in practice. So I mean, he's given me the rope, and I just got to take it. So.
What's up next for the Vikes?
Vikes, we have Rensselaer Central Friday at North White, and then Tri-Township at North White as well.
Tell us about the Bombers. They're 2-3.
2-3 with a lot of injuries.
Yeah, 2-3. But I mean, they're two guys, Corbin Matthew and Jack Chapman. Man, they can score the ball. And the drone kid, I apologize, I don't know his first name, but I mean,
Graham, I think
he can shoot the ball too. So. They don't lack for scoring. But, I mean, we know that they're going to be strong. They're going to do what they want to do, and so it's our job to get them off their lines and force them to play our game a little bit. So,
how's the JV Vikes doing this year?
JV Vikes, tough results, but, we're getting better. So, excuse me, we're getting better. I mean, that's all that we can do. Give them some instruction, get them better, get them in practice. Try not to lose our hair a little bit, getting frustrated. But they're guys that they're playing hard, but we just got to get them there. So it's all learning curve, and hopefully we can get them there sooner than later.
Daniel, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week, all right?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Daniel Jakes from the North White Vikings, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3KGthecage.com right after this.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's Pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
I'm Bob Kurtz along with Bill Kay and Scotty Miller, trusty man behind the camera there, running things for us on the computer as well. It's the Coach's Cage show every Wednesday at, I guess we bumped up the starting time to
closer to 5:30.
You wanted to 5 o'clock if you could there, but 5:45 or so.
We got a full house here. Come on, before 6.
We do, yeah. All the Eastern time coaches are in, and Trent Fegley is the next one from the Frontier Falcons. And Trent, thanks for coming over. How you doing today?
We're doing great. We're just trying to get a good week of practice put together. Got 2 big ones this weekend, so doing all we can.
Got 2 to recap, too. Take it away.
Yeah, so we played Carroll Friday night, and then we had Tri-Central Saturday. Carroll, obviously a great basketball team.
When are they not?
Never. Yeah, I mean, even at Rensselaer, like we said, my first year there when we won the sectional, they beat us in the regional. I mean, that's a great basketball team, always is. On the season, they were 6 of 22 from 3 coming into our game, so you got to pick your poison with them. So we're like, all right, we're going to defend the paint, fly out on shots, but we're going to live with it. And they shot 17 of 25 from 3. So that was kind of a dagger.
17 of 25.
17 of 25. Chris Huerta, number 22 on their team, was 8 of 9. So
that's unheard of in high school.
I can't imagine there's another team in the state this year that tops 17.
No,
maybe once. So it was one of those things where could we have closed out better, quicker? Sure, fine. But sometimes it's just not going to happen. And it was one of those nights, and they made shots. We did a lot of good that we carried into the next night. So we short memory, get rid of that one, move on. The nice part about it was the next day at practice, we really pushed closing out to shooters and then helping so that we can run them off the three-point line. Came out against Tri-Central, very good basketball team, 2 big kids. They had 2 6'5" guys that were both about 230, 40 pounds. Very, very big. It was hard for us to deal with that. Great first quarter. Second and third, we kind of stalled, got down 15 in the fourth, and had a ball in the air to tie it at the end. So we came all the way back. Kids fought hard, forced a bunch of turnovers in the fourth quarter. One of my freshmen, Chase Winkler, hit a big 3 to put us within 2 with about 20 seconds. We went down, stole it, took a timeout, came off, had a good look, drew one up for one of our juniors, Drew Turner.
A 3?
Drew him up an elbow jump shot.
Okay.
Yep, so we went to his bread and butter. It's a great shot. He'll make 9 out of 10, and happened to be the one that he didn't, right? Rolled out on him. Like I told him, I'd give it to him again, the same shot. Okay, so that's all we can do there. But a lot of good. We pressured the ball. They were a 5 senior team, and then we're playing, like I said, freshmen and sophomore and junior. So a lot of these older teams we're losing to right now, we're losing because of experience, not because we're getting our butts beat up and down the court.
Who played well for you in those games?
In the Carroll game, it was pretty evenly spread around, but I did have a junior big. Drew Turner had 21 points and 15 rebounds, so he had a really big game. And then at the Tri-Central game, Drew was 10 points, 11 rebounds, and then I had a freshman guard, Chase Winkler, score 17.
Is Drew a post player?
Drew's a post player. He's 6'3". He's athletic, so not just a sit-on-the-block guy, but he plays in the inside.
What grade is he in?
He's a junior.
Junior?
Yep,
Okay.
so very, very good player, super athletic kid. And then we actually switched up our point guard role this week and took the freshman Chase and moved him out to the wing, the Winkler kid. And then we moved Reed Duncan to the point and just to try and mix it up. He'd had a rough start, so I was like, let's get him going. Let's get the ball in his hands. He went out there and shot 4 of 6 for 10 points, made a couple free throws, pushed the ball well. So it's us trying to find the right lineup right now, and I think we're on the right track where we're at right now.
What's it like for you being a head coach for the first time versus a JV coach? What's the differences?
The main difference so far is, since I did have a big hand in like planning for the Rensselaer team and game planning and rotational stuff, so like none of that is the really the big thing. Honestly, it's the overseeing of everything all the way down. You know what I mean? That's the harder thing. I don't have any issue getting ready for practice, nothing getting ready for games. Like, none of that's the problem. The thing that keeps me up at night is, okay, cool, so we have these guys doing this on the JV, these quarters and C team, and what do I have coming 7th and 8th grade? That's the part. But as far as, like, getting ready for the games, it's not too different.
And how have the players adjusted to you and you adjusted to them so far?
I think they would agree with this, but, I mean, we're very close, tight-knit group. I don't have a single kid that drives me crazy in practice or in the games or anything. It's a good group of kids, and they truly want to help each other out, and I've kind of come in and been a calming force for them. They've just had so many in-and-out coaches. I mean, I think they're 5 and 6 years, you know, so right now what we're looking at is some stability and just try and do all I can to be a leader for them on the court and in the classroom, and I think we've gained a pretty good respect for each other.
Trent, is it almost better that you're into a situation with all these young guys being new? So,
100%.
you know, you don't have a bunch of seniors who all think they know everything. And,
100%. It couldn't be. We couldn't be in a better situation. I know the kids probably don't feel that way right now, but we couldn't be in a better situation because if I'd have walked into a 6 senior team that was like, "This is my last year. I want to win right now," like that's hard to get into. But I've just kept pitching them the idea of, like, we have 3 freshmen, 4 sophomores, 3 juniors, couple seniors. Like, this is a young group, and we need to be ready by the postseason and ready for the future. So just keep working. We'll find the right lineups. But if we're ready by post-Christmas and then moving on into the future, that's where we need to be. So, yes, being young couldn't be better right now.
Speaking of the future, I've seen on Facebook your posts concerning the younger Falcons. You're trying to get them involved at a young age, right?
Yep. So there hasn't been much of a youth program right now. So we're feeling out different ways, and the people in the community have been great, helping out, volunteering time to coach, you name it. But every Saturday morning, again, so I run and do the radio show in Monticello and then straight back. And Jack Mikesell, my JV coach, has been great about running the youth stuff in the morning before I can get there. But it's Jack, parents, some coaches, and all the kids get there Saturday mornings. We're running through training sessions and games and you name it, just trying to get them a basketball in their hands because it's not something that's been pushed and there hasn't been a youth program. And then we go out there and throw one together and have 60 kids sign up at a 1A school right away. And I'm like, okay, we're going in the right direction. But, yeah, youth is going to be big.
What's up next for Frontier?
So we have Rossville on Friday, so it doesn't get easier. And then we go to Caston Saturday. So 2 very, very tough games. Rossville is typical Rossville team. Small, shoot the crud out of it. They make everything. If you don't close out, they're going to let it go. They pick up a little bit in transition. They'll pick you up full court. Caston lost their big guy last year, bring their guards back. So they're going to be, again, another old team. Rossville is a young group put together, kind of like us. So it's going to be nice to see some young, talented guards out there Friday night. And then Saturday we go into a rough environment where we're going to play the sectional this year at Caston and against a sectional opponent. So this is my first game that's conference or sectional implications, so this will be fun.
JV Falcons, how are they off to the start this year?
Yep, so they played a really, really good game against BC and kind of got away from them late. The Carroll game, again, right in it until the end. And then Tri-Central, they handled their business, I think, won by 20 points. So it is difficult for them right now ball handling-wise because I've stole all their freshman guards and brought them up to where we're at right now. So the nice part is we've had some guys that are kind of transitioning into different positions on the JV team to where in the past maybe they had to play that 3-4 role to where they can dribble the ball a little bit more. So I'm putting them into point guard role, little leadership stuff. So Jack does a good job with that. And as we're learning the guys more and more, we've started to move some quarters around. I have a couple guys from varsity this week that are going to play a couple JV quarters, not because they don't deserve to be up. Their role's the same thing. But if they're playing 12 minutes, let's go get them another couple quarters and get them used to playing up and down as much as they can. So JV's been solid.
What's your vision for the JV? What do you want them to do?
So I want the JV, the C team, the 8th grade, the 7th grade. We've all talked about this. Like, they are running the same scheme that I run all the way top to bottom. So wins are great. Love winning at all levels. But I need them to get to me so I don't have to reteach defense and reteach our offensive scheme and the little drills that we do that get the guards to do the stuff I want them to. We're big off playing off 2 feet in the lane. That's the stuff that my goal is. When I get a guard next year brought up to me, he can't not understand the terminology and things like that. So I'm way more worried about that than I am wins.
Trent, thanks for coming over. Appreciate it very much. Good luck
Appreciate
this
it.
week, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck, Coach.
All right. Trent Fegley from the Frontier Falcons, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Every day you listen to the news, but how is that news affecting your financial world? Things like your retirement and your kids' college fund. You need someone who can help you work towards your goals. Someone to help you move forward in the times of change. Call Mindy Byer at Morgan Stanley. Mindy has 20 years of experience as a financial advisor, and she's right here in Northwest Indiana. To make an appointment with Mindy Byer, call 765-420-8433. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Take it away.
Oh, okay. We're back here on Coach's Cage Show, 3kgthecage.com, and that's the cage with a K. Joining us now is Ryan Harrington of the Tri-County Cavalier Boys Squad. And Ryan, give us a little recap of your past week and, what games you had, who played well, all that good stuff.
Well, I've only had one game since I saw you last, so Friday night we hosted Rossville, and, I'm sure you've already heard they're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Well, we fell to them 62-39, so scoring was a little bit of an issue for us that night, and we just really struggled to shoot the basketball, to be honest. It was just kind of one of those nights. It didn't matter what type of shot we took, unless it was right at the rim and a layup, we were struggling to hit it. So, credit to Rossville as well. They did a great job of hitting shots. So they hit 5 threes in that first quarter. So in the first quarter. So when a team comes out and does that, and like I said, we're struggling to hit shots, that can be a little devastating. And you could kind of tell that happened to our guys. We got a little demoralized and down on ourselves, unfortunately. And that's something we just got to learn from and continue to improve with. So as far as standouts,
how was your defense getting out on the shooters? Was it?
It's been a work in progress.
Okay.
There was a lot of that type of work Saturday morning after the game. So as you can imagine, there was plenty of times when we were out on the shooter. It's not like we weren't by the guy, but being next to the guy and having a hand up contesting the shot are two different things, obviously, and that's kind of the type of things we're working on.
Don't watch the Bulls.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure
they struggle big time.
But as far as good games for us, Kobe Baylor just continues to be an offensive machine. He scored 21 points, so he's averaging just over 19 points per game so far on the year for us. And again, we only scored 39, so he scored over 50% of our points. And fortunately, we only had 4 guys score. So Riley Hughes, Tyler Burns, and Connor Ross were the other 3 guys that scored. So like I said, just kind of a night we struggled, dealing with a little sickness. Grayson Schneider was out with a cold, so we didn't have him, and just kind of an adjustment for us. But thankfully, I was mentioning to you guys before we went on air, we're healthy this week. We've had everybody at practice, so we're kind of heading in the right direction in that regard.
When you struggle to shoot, does that bother you more than, say, you have a lot of turnovers, or is it frustrating? And how do you handle that frustration when the ball's not going in?
I think the biggest thing is as long as we're taking the right shot, it's something I've really talked to the guys about, is just we're going to live with it if it's the right shot. Misses are going to happen. That's just kind of part of the game. But we just got to make sure we're working to get the right shot. There was a lot of times in that game Friday where we just took the first good shot we had, and sometimes it wasn't even really a good shot.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, I'm kind of open. I'm going to take this shot. And maybe we've only made 1 or 2 passes. Whereas on the possessions where we got ball reversals and every guy on the floor touched the ball, or, again, there's 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 passes. Usually good things happen when we do those things. So
does the bad stuff, is it more when you're trailing? Everybody's got a mentality to, put up a...
I think so. I think
catch
sometimes
up
too, again, you just see teams go on runs and you start to hit the panic button a little bit, and that's just something we've got to continue to improve on as a team. And that's something we've talked to them about. We've got to keep recognizing, like, hey, we're a successful team. We just won a sectional title. Like, let's have confidence in these big moments, and we can make the big plays and do the things we got to do to win these games.
Do your guys talk enough on the court?
That's I think any coach would tell you that's something that we need to work on, especially here early in the season. There's definitely times when I would say we're great at communicating, but when we don't communicate well, it definitely stands out. And, especially talk about defensively, how can we start holding teams under 60 points per game? Those are the little things that we've really been emphasizing. Communication, being there, trusting, playing good defense, but also trusting that, hey, if I do get beat, the help's going to be there. But then also you got to communicate it if you need the help, And it goes beyond that. There's the little things, like if a shot goes up, you got to yell shot so all your teammates know to box out. If the ball handler picks up his dribble, you got to be yelling dead so that we can get in the passing lanes and try to steal any pass out of it. So just kind of those little things that we got to continue to improve upon. And as soon as we get those things, we're going to be a good team. That's the thing. We've got plenty of potential to score offensively. I don't think that we're going to be in the 30s consistently necessarily. I'm not saying it's the last time that happens. Anything's possible, but I think more times than not, as long as we focus on our defense, it's also going to lead to easy offense opportunities.
I haven't asked this question very much to coaches, but when you're on offense, do you run set plays every single time down, or do you let them freelance, or how does that work?
There's definitely games in the past where you call close to quite a few sets, but it kind of just depends on the night. And I think the better you are as a team, the less sets you actually have to call, because good players can make good plays. That's kind of the big thing. So to be honest, this year we've called a lot less sets than we have in years past, but at the same time we've talked to the guys about, okay, we need to recognize when we aren't getting good movement offensively. When the passes aren't happening, when we're only making 2 or 3 passes and guys seem unsure what to do, that's a wonderful time to go ahead, pull the basketball out, and call a set. But I like to really try to empower the players too. Something we talk about all the time in practice. When we get to those big games in a sectional, or even a big conference rival, or even these county rivals, it's going to be loud in those gyms. Sometimes It's hard to hear us coaches on the sideline. So the players communicating and the players being able to make some of those decisions is important. And, I really trust them and think that those are the things that they need to do and lead to our success in the long run.
And again, another thing I like to ask, since we only have one game to talk about, break down a daily, the weekly practice. So what do you do each day, and how much time do you spend on each thing each day?
Yeah, so again, it kind of just depends what you need.
If you play
for
on a
any given
Friday,
week.
Saturday,
sure,
say that.
Sure. So, if you got a whole week to prepare, a lot of times Monday, it's usually breaking down the things that maybe we're struggling with in any given time. Obviously I've mentioned this week for us that was a lot of communication on defense, a lot of things like closing out with high hands, that sort of thing. And then, we will break down into offensive stuff then kind of in the second half of any given practice. So the big thing that I always like to start practice with is defense, because that's kind of the thing that needs to be our identity, and we've got to learn to embrace. So we've got to be able to come in the gym right after school, be ready to play defense, and then after that, we'll work on our offense a little bit. Right now our big thing is just making sure that we're ready to be able to recognize the defenses that our opponents are playing. Some of these upcoming opponents that we play, they'll switch it up between man-to-man and zone defense, so that's kind of been a big emphasis, is recognize the defense we're in and then getting an offense that'll help us succeed. But as you get to the second half of the week and you start winding things down, especially on a Thursday, huge emphasis is just making sure we getting up and down the floor. Everybody knows where they need to be on every single play. We're communicating, getting up a bunch of shots, and just trying to make sure the guys are loose and not tense or uptight for the upcoming game.
How many guys would you typically have rebounding on defense? Does anybody break out and look to fast break, or is it all five? Or
I mean, a lot of times we're just focused on if we're on defense, we got to box our guy out and we got to get the basketball. The nice thing is we got some pretty quick guys, and even guys sometimes, Connor Ross, for example, he can get a rebound and he can get to the other side of the floor before everybody else. So, we're fortunate in having some of those athletes to where if we do a good job of crashing, we're more than capable of still getting out on that break after we've, gotten the basketball from that rebound.
Was that the ultimate goal, is to get fast break baskets?
Well, yes, but I would say sometimes those lead to most of our turnovers, because we get going a little too fast, as you guys have seen before, covering our games. So absolutely, that would be the goal, but we just got to play within ourselves, and while we want to get up tempo, we got to do it at a speed that we're capable of doing it, to where we don't turn the basketball over.
We talked about
what's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this week we're going to be Road Warriors. We're traveling over to Monticello. We'll play Twin Lakes on Friday, so big game there. And then turnaround Saturday, we're going down to Williamsport and we'll play Seeger. So some big road trips for us. Twin Lakes is going to be pretty good. Ken Adams has been there for a really long time. They just dedicated the court.
Got a court
to
named
him,
after him. Yeah.
Yeah, his name's on the court now, so that'll be interesting there Friday night. They're always a tough opponent. Again, very well coached team, and a bigger school that's in White County, and obviously Tri-County is as well. So that's something that kind of ends up being a similar rivalry to Rensselaer over here on the Jasper County side of things. So always tough going over there and playing, and that'll be a fun game. And then Seeger's another really well coached team, and they have a really tiny gym, but it's a pretty cool gym. It's kind of got a horseshoe style. There's only probably 10 rows. I mean, it's not very tall, so pretty cool environment to go see a basketball game in, and it gets pretty full no matter what. And again, when it's that small, the fans are kind of right on you. It gets pretty loud in there, so pretty good environment to play a basketball game.
How the JV Cavs doing this year?
They're at 1-2 right now, so they got their win over here at Rensselaer, and then these last two games, they've had their moments. They're another, just like our varsity, they've just got to learn to embrace defense and then consistently find the good shots offensively. When they do those things, they're a type of team that they can make big runs on you. I've several times in all these games they've played so far, they've gone on big scoring, like 8-0 scoring runs. So they're really good at finding those moments. They just got to put it together consistently for 4 quarters, and they're going to be a really tough team to beat.
Ryan, thanks for coming over. Good luck, and we'll see you next week, all right?
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Ryan Harrington from the Tri-County Cavaliers, back with more. The Coach's Cage on 3KGthecage.com after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Midwest Contractor Services of Rensselaer, with over 15 years of experience, offers both insulation and gutter services for new construction and existing homes in Jasper, Newton, Lake, and Porter counties. You could save money and lower energy bills by adding more insulation to your house. New insulation project? Let Midwest Contractor Services offer you a custom insulation package that fits your needs. Leaves in your gutter? Let us give you a price on leaf protection products that really work and are affordable. Call Marty or Mark at Midwest Contractor Services today at 219-866-0755 and get an estimate for your project.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Coach's Cage Show. Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, and
what are you laughing about?
I see Chris. I just watched him against Griffith, and that made me sick. I think that's what made me sick last week was watching Lady Spartans there. They you should have. You won the game. You won the game, right?
Mm-hmm. We did.
But it made it hard on you. Made it hard on me. Probably made it hard on the players. You had a pretty comfortable lead, and then at the end they had to survive a 3-point shot to go the other way, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. I don't know. Is this? We've not started that way before. This is pretty good. So shall we talk about that game?
That's the only game we have to talk about,
It's
right?
the only one we have to talk about, yeah. So
you didn't score in the first quarter.
No, we didn't score in the first quarter, and we had about 6 or so shots. I mean, we should have been up about 8-0 before they even scored, just based on the shots that we got. Nothing was going in at all. And then they only scored 5, right?
Right.
And we talked about it multiple times. They were defensive breakdowns. We had one on an out-of-bounds play where they got a 3. We had one on a layup, so that's 5-0. And it was kind of like the River Forest game, and I said that to him. You know, as bad as we were at River Forest, where we missed like 10 layups, we had a horrible percentage from the free throw line. We were only down 11-9 in that game. In this game, as bad as it was, we were only down 5-0. And we were down as bad as, I think, 9-2 and then 11-4.
Made it up in a hurry, though.
We kind of did, yeah. It was probably about midway through the second quarter, I think, when we started making a move, and we outscored them 21-9 in the second 2 quarters, or in the second and third quarter. So we went down at halftime 11-10, and it was one of those situations, kind of like, you know, you didn't want the break to come right then because we were rolling, and we had to take that little timeout. But then we came out, and we at some point we got I think it was a 20-11 lead, 9-point lead. And in that game, kind of like the Attica game, where you have a lead like that in that kind of slow game, it feels a lot bigger than it really is.
Yeah,
and
because there was no pressing
No,
for either team.
no.
And 2-3 zones for both of them.
Right. And even when they pressed us in the fourth quarter with about, I want to say it was about 3 minutes to go or something like that, they started, but it was only a half court 1-3-1. And instead of pulling the ball out, we kept trying to throw the ball in, and we threw it into traffic, and they took it the other way. And, next thing you know, it's 25-24.
Yeah, you threw the ball, forced the ball in with the lead.
Yes, forcing the ball in with the lead. And, it got to 25-24. We made one free throw with 11 seconds to go.
Who made that? I forgot.
That was Cheyenne Cahill.
Yeah.
She made the second of two. And we called timeout to try to, plan for what we were going to do next. And they had extra timeouts. And actually, with the way this foul thing goes now, we had 5 fouls, so we had to be careful. We couldn't foul them, or they were going to the line. And actually, they made a lot of headway on our fouls. They made their free throws. They made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, they made all their free throws in the fourth quarter. They were 8 out of 10, and that's just us fouling. But they had to foul because they only had 1 foul, so they had to foul to have us keep throwing the ball in, and they would either steal it or foul us. And they had to get to 5 before we got to where Cheyenne shot. So she makes the second of the two, and they had a timeout, so they got it to half court. And I think there were 8 seconds, I think, when they got the ball in their own half. And they were kind of slow getting going, which is good because they would have had a shot at a rebound had they shot a little quicker. But, they set a screen. We were just a little slow getting out. And they just kind of were wide right just a little, but it hit the rim. And
it was a tough shot.
It was a tough shot. It had a chance, but I would have liked to have been a little bit closer. But in our defense, we don't go that far out.
Right.
Right? I mean, there was a girl from Attica that hit one on us almost from the volleyball line, and we're not going to go way out there. We don't see too many people that are banging those in. So, and then of course they do. But that was a game that like you said, maybe made you sick. It shouldn't have been the way it was. But
No.
again, I said it last week with the Attica game, we have to learn how to win.
Right.
We did win this game.
Absolutely.
And when you look at statistics, there weren't a lot because it was just so slow.
Right.
But McKenna had 20 points. And
20 out of the 26.
20 out of the 26. Yeah. And she'll tell you, if she doesn't, I am, she was just flat bad at the beginning. And we can't afford that. And I say she missed a whole lot of shots at the very, very beginning.
Because
and she missed more later, too.
When you weren't throwing the ball away, you were getting good shots.
We were getting good shots and missing them all.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, McKenna had 20 points. She was 9 out of 18 shooting. And a lot of those shots, you wish that they would have gone in, too, just because they were shots that she can easily make, and she just wasn't hitting them. And we come here week after week and say that we're not going to be successful if all we do is give it to McKenna. Unless it's in this situation where the person that's guarding her just can't handle her.
Right.
So we just kept feeding it in. Very few people had shots.
Right.
And it's just kind of keep going until it doesn't work anymore. So she scored most of those points. I mean, she scored 10 points just in the third quarter alone.
Right.
So we don't want to win games that way. I mean, we would like to have more people involved, but in that situation, you just keep going with what's working.
And
so,
at least you're winning these games, though.
Yeah, right. But she had 20 points, 8 boards, 2 steals, blocks, and deflections. Cheyenne Cahill had 4 points from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 2 deflections, assists, and steals. And then rounding out the scoring was Summer Wynn with 2 points. She had 6 rebounds and 4 steals, 3 deflections, and 2 charges. 2 charges. We hadn't had a single charge all season.
Is that right?
And then she got them on consecutive trips down the floor, it seemed. And she's got a real nice bruise down here. And then June Busboom had 3 assists. But that's, for the most part, all of our stats. It was just kind of one of those kinds of games. But we're 3-6. I'd rather be 3-6 than 2-7. So, that's good.
That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's talk about now you're only playing 2 quarters of JV. How's that working out? Is that a strain on your program?
Tomorrow is going to be only the second time we did it, I think. Yeah, because we're just getting a girl back that we haven't had since the scrimmage. So we found when we played against Lowell, and maybe we played one more, but I know we played Lowell, the girls that played were just too tired when it came to the varsity game, and I need to use everybody because we have 10 girls.
Right.
And we may have that again tomorrow. I'm not sure if our one girl, I'm not sure what Paige is going to do tomorrow or not. We thought that she was hurt pretty bad on Saturday. You probably saw that when you watched it. And it turns out that there's really nothing wrong. It's a bruise.
When you start screaming, when you hear them on the ground, they start screaming. That's not a good.
It was awful.
Good sign.
Awful. And I just keep replaying that in my head live because I saw it, and then of course you're watching it to do stats and everything, and it's just like it just kind of stays there. But
was it a knee or ankle?
It was a
knee.
Yeah, and she went to the doctor, and everything seems to be okay. So that's good. But we've played it pretty slowly this week, and if she doesn't play tomorrow, hopefully she can play on Saturday. And if she can't play Saturday, I think because there's no real damage, hopefully it won't be too long. But, with this 2 quarters tomorrow, there's going to be some kids that I purposely say, okay, you guys are going to need to go and sit over here. As you're coaching, you have to keep track of quarters and everything. So a couple of those girls are only going to have 3. So it's going to, take myself and my coaching staff to kind of keep people out of my way so I don't put them in, right? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
You really have to watch for that. And, pretty soon we will have all 11, and that'll make it a little bit easier. But we definitely need to have the 2 quarters. We have to. We've got some girls that just need the time that they're not getting in varsity. And, you don't come out for the team to just come and practice. That's not why you're there. You're there to try to get better and help the cause. So it'll be really good that we're going to start playing those again.
Well, 3KG will be over at your place tomorrow night to watch. We always broadcast the battle for Newton County. Yeah. Play for a trophy, play for pride. Tell us about tomorrow night's game.
Tomorrow night's game, obviously South Newton, and I've seen them a couple times. I watched them last week against Frontier, and they stayed in that game for a while until Frontier, I think, probably won close to 20. And last night I went for about half of the game against DeMott Christian, and it didn't go nearly as well for them as it did against Frontier. It was a pretty lopsided score when I left. To South Newton's credit, though, they gave up about 23 or 24 points in the first quarter, and when I left, DeMott had 26. So they went to a different defense, and DeMott wasn't scoring. DeMott was playing some players too, but they weren't scoring the way they did in the first quarter. South Newton, they have a whole bunch of freshmen. They've got, I think they have 9 freshmen from what I saw on the roster, and a couple of them start, and why not? When you've got the kids that are there, you've got those kinds of numbers. Let them play. Obviously they've got Addie Standish, and she's the one that everything revolves around. I mean, I looked at the shot chart last night in the first quarter, and I think that all but one shot was taken by her. So, I mean, that's what's going to happen. And, Frontier and DeMott both kind of face guarded her. I hope that we don't have to resort to such a thing. I hope that everybody plays enough team defense where she's not just going to slice us and dice us and drive. And I made a real concerted effort to make sure that they knew that we can't let that happen. We can't just let her drive through us. I mean, she's super athletic. I mean, she's just a very good athlete. But we can't allow her just to do whatever she wants. We're going to have other people. If they want to hurt us, it's going to have to be other people. We can't just let her do it. And she went off for a bunch of points last year in the third quarter against us. We were on our way to really blowing them out, and she kept them in. And she kept them in until she fouled out. So, that's what we have to look forward to tomorrow. Hopefully, the energy's high, and we play one of the best games we've played all season because, we can't just keep doing this like we did against Attica, like we did against Griffith. There's going to have to be some point where we make a concerted effort to really make steps forward and not just eke out certain games.
Right.
You just can't do that. Sure. So, we've got that one between now and when I see you guys again. We'll play Faith Christian on Saturday at home, Saturday morning, and then we'll go to Boone Grove on Tuesday. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how these games go. One thing that worries me a little bit, I've been looking at Boone Grove, and this happened last year. They were 0 when they came in, and at the moment I've seen them at 0-11, and I've seen them be pretty close. I mean, they played a really good Washington Township team, and I think only lost by about 17 or something. And so they stayed in that game too. So, we're going to need to make sure that we understand that goose egg on the win column right now. Doesn't mean a thing. I mean, we're not at a point right this moment where we can overlook anybody. I mean, you saw us. You saw. I mean, we shouldn't have the kind of confidence right now going in and saying, "Oh, we can just go in and we can win this game."
Right.
We're not there yet. I say yet. I would love to. I'd love to see them put some kind of stamp on tomorrow night's game, and just kind of let some people take some notice. But until we do that, nobody needs to take notice. So hopefully we start to put some kind of stamp on what we're doing, saying that we mean business and we're serious about things.
Chris, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope we give you a good game.
All right. Chris York.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
From the North Newton Lady Spartans, back. Have a little player interview coming up next here on 3KGTheCage.com.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark for the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, and Scotty Miller were here on the Coach's Cage show on 3KGTheCage.com, and we have a very special guest here, a player coming in tonight to pinch hit for Coach Missy Tyler, the Tri-County Lady Cavaliers, who's she's a season ticket holder for Purdue, I think. Purdue women, they play tonight. So Alysta Tallman has graciously come in to step in and fill her shoes. Alysta, first of all, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
18 years old today, huh?
Yep.
Well, that's nice. So thanks for coming in and spend some time with us on your birthday.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about this year's Cavalier team. What's your record so far, and how's the season gone so far?
We're 5-4. We won our first game, but we had a slow start after that with some bigger schools. I think now we've had some good competition, and we've been working hard to prepare for all these, so I think it'll be a good next few games.
What's your role on the team this year? You're a senior, right?
Yeah.
One of the few, right?
One of 4, yeah.
4?
Yep.
Okay.
I think being a leader, like a senior and a starter, I really think that my role is to push we have 3 freshmen that dress some varsity, and showing them that hard work pays off, and just pushing everyone at practice to practice like you play, and yeah.
What's it like for you? It's your senior year. Can you remember your freshman year and growing up, and can you believe that the senior year is here now?
It came fast. I switched schools my sophomore year and came to Tri-County, so.
Where'd you go before?
Benton Central.
Oh, Benton Central, okay.
Yeah. But transferring was to a smaller school. The competition was different. Crowds were different, but I think as a team we brought more competition to Tri-County, and we've shown other schools that we can build, and we've built up, and we've played competition that has been big and hard, not easy, but yeah.
Who are some of your biggest rivals? You know, the games that you look forward to the most as a team?
Mainly our conference games, because we know that conference comes first, and the schools that we lost to last year, we really look forward to beating them again this year, so yeah.
Let's talk about, I forgot to mention, your sectional champion from last year. What's that feel like? Not many people get to experience being a sectional champion. What's it like for you and the team?
It was my sophomore year. We went from we had a slow start and not a very good finish, but junior year, so last year when we won sectional, we've worked hard, and we really just we've shown everyone that we can do it, and we didn't have any seniors last year, so we have a big target, and I think it's shown us that what we need to do this year to help us get back to winning another sectional championship this year.
Was that time cutting down the net something you'll always remember?
Yeah, it was very a once in a lifetime, that's what it felt like, and it was just real eye-opening.
What did you feel when you heard the final buzzer go off?
I got hurt in the 4th quarter, so I was very shocked, and I was so out of it at the moment, and I was just I didn't believe it. It was it was just amazing.
Like a dream almost.
It was, yeah.
And you hope to do it again this year? I assume that's
yes.
What are your goals or expectations for the rest of this year?
Yeah, as I said, focus on conference first, and we've only had one conference game so far, and we won that game. We have another one tomorrow. I think conference is a big goal. Winning sectionals is another goal, and then I think going to regionals again and hopefully winning. But
what was it like playing in the regional? Was that a step up from sectional play?
Yeah, it felt more.
Who'd you play last year? Can't remember. You don't remember either.
I don't remember.
That's all right. Well, what was it like playing in the regional compared to the sectional?
It was definitely a different, a more packed gym, but a smaller gym, and it was just more competitive, and I think it was just being in the moment, and it really just the feeling is what really slowed us down last year, just being there.
Was it nervousness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so when you're on the court, Can you tell, does it affect you, like your student body, how they cheer and the crowd? Did you hear that at all, or do you just kind of zone it out and play?
I think it's a mix of both. At the beginning, we hear everyone, and it's like they're in it, they're here for us. But at the same time, it's when you're on the court, you lock in, and you have to block everything out that's going to get in your head.
What's it like playing for Coach Missy Tyler? She's been there a long time, hasn't she?
Yeah. It's amazing. Her being at the school is also like, she's there for us outside of on and off the court, and she knows what she's doing, and like she knows how to read every player in their own way. And yeah,
You guys connect well with her?
Yeah, yep.
I remember her as such a good player.
Yeah.
And that tells you how old we are, but
what's it like when you look up on your wall and see the banners up there and it says sectional champion? Does that make you feel good every time you see it?
Yeah, it changes a lot. It really just motivates us to keep practicing. We see it every day we practice, and it pushes us to keep doing hard work in practice and play like that in the game and just really lock in.
What's how is your team made up? How many seniors, how many juniors, sophomores, freshmen?
We have 4 seniors, 4 juniors, 4 sophomores, and 3 freshmen.
That's a pretty good mix.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's a good blend. That's what you want to have for sure.
Yeah.
How'd you get started? When did you start playing basketball, and when was that, and how you got interested in it?
I've played basketball for as long as I can remember. My dad has always thrown a ball in my hands.
Yeah,
since
with the name like Tallman, you're
yeah.
kind of pushed that way, I would say, right?
Yeah. I remember kindergarten through 5th or 6th grade, I played at a church in Otterburn, and at 3rd grade, we practiced we had kid camp with the high schoolers, and I just don't ever remember not having a ball in my hand, so forever.
Now, you've been through all the wars here as a senior. What advice would you give for younger Lady Cavalier hopefuls that are in the elementary grades now that want to play varsity basketball for the Lady Cavs? What do you say they need to do?
I say really just put your heart into it and know your position, know what you can do better, positivity, and I really just think that showing up, putting 100% and more effort in to practices will really help you with games, and just having that energy really.
And what's up the rest of this week for Lady Cavs?
Tomorrow we have Frontier, and Saturday we have Rossville.
All right. Melissa, we appreciate you coming in on your birthday nonetheless and talking a little Lady Cavalier basketball, and we have several games throughout the year, so we'll see you on the court, and good luck, okay? And thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Melissa Tallman from the Tri-County Lady Cavs has been our guest. Back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Midwest Contractor Services of Rensselaer, with over 15 years of experience, offers both insulation and gutter services for new construction and existing homes in Jasper, Newton, Lake, and Porter counties. You could save money and lower energy bills by adding more insulation to your house. New insulation project? Let Midwest Contractor Services offer you a custom insulation package that fits your needs. Leaves in your gutter? Let us give you a price on leaf protection products that really work and are affordable. Call Marty or Mark at Midwest Contractor Services today at 219-866-0755 and get an estimate for your project.
Every day you listen to the news, but how is that news affecting your financial world? Things like your retirement and your kids' college fund. You need someone who can help you work towards your goals. Someone to help you move forward in the times of change. Call Mindy Byer at Morgan Stanley. Mindy has 20 years of experience as a financial advisor, and she's right here in Northwest Indiana. To make an appointment with Mindy Byer, call 765-420-8433. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Coach's Cage, and this gentleman and I, Billy, go back a long way. It's been a while since we've chatted. Brad Odom from the West Central Trojans. When we talked before, Brad, you were on the girls' side. Now you're on the boys' side. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
It's been a while, guys. I'm glad to be back.
All right. Well, you started the season and haven't played very many games yet, right?
Yeah, so far we've played 3 games. We had 2 games at home. Culver was our opening night because things had to change for our Oregon-Davis game. We had Argus after that, and then last night we played at Marquette.
Well, take it away.
So really the story of the 3 games is we just got off to slow starts. You know, we talked to our kids about, what can we do to get them a little more focused or a little more ready to take the floor, because it seems like we've just got off to a slow start in all 3. Part of that's just the way we've handled some pressure. Pressure's really turned us over early and led to, like a pick 6 or turnovers for touchdowns, and you can't defend those when you're giving up easy points. So that's something we got to get better at, and we'll continue to improve on that. But we battle hard. We played some pretty good teams. Argus is really well coached. Marquette Catholic, I know they lost a lot of guys from last year, but they just reloaded. They were really young, but really, really talented. So, I told the kids not to get their heads down with the start, but, we got to just keep working and grinding and getting better every day so we can be competitive and get this thing off the ground.
Talk about who played well in each of those games.
So, opening night against Culver, our big man, Connor Sleeman, had 23. He was 9 of 10 from the floor. Bryce Naniga, our leading scorer returning from last year, had 14. He's been very consistent throughout. And then Connor Marlatte's in a little bit different role this year as he has to play the point.
We're looking to get him off the point a little bit as well because I think he might be a little more comfortable maybe as a 2-guard. But he had 10 in the opening night. So we had 3 guys in double figures, but bottom line, that night we were a little surprised when their lineup came out and they had a point guard we hadn't seen on film. And he hurt us a lot. He had 25. He did a really good job of being physical and getting inside our zone and using his strength to get to the basket. So, you throw that into the mix, and they hit 10 threes. I think they were 10 of 36 or 10 of 38 from three-point range.
A lot of three-point tries.
Yeah, we knew they were going to shoot a lot of threes, but we also knew, or at least hoped, that could get us out in transition too, because they took most of their threes from the corner. It just happened that when they did take those corner threes and we did get out, we just made some simple mistakes or some silly mistakes trying to throw the ball across the floor, and it led to a few breakaways. So, after that we played Argus, and Argus is extremely well coached. We knew they were going to be young coming in. They started 2 freshmen, but had a 6'6" kid inside that really hurt us. He's a junior. And their point guard is a senior, and it's kind of the same story. He got off to a great start. We knew that he was their offense in the first quarter. He had scored, I think, 15 in the first quarter of their first game that we saw on film, and against us he had 11. So it's the same. It was the same story as the Culver game. We're down 19-8, kind of out of the gate, and then we played straight up with them most of the rest of the game. With about 4 minutes to go, we're down 7. We battle back hard, have the ball, get the ball inside, and kind of take a rush shot. Still get 2 more stops at that point in time, get a turnover, and once again maybe a little too quick of a shot, and then they bury a 3 and it goes back to 10. And that kind of broke our back about the 2.5-minute mark. So we tried to foul a little bit. To work on some things for the future. Maybe you want to run a certain type of free throw break, or maybe you want to try to run a set. So we threw some of those things in late as we were working. It ended up being a 16-point spread, but that game was much closer than that. In the Argus game, Bryce Nanica had 15, Schliemann had 11, and Connor Marlatt had 7. Jaden Miller, one of our off guards, he had 6 as well. He played a pretty good game at Argus. And then last night started well. We knew that Marquette, once again, they had a 6'6" kid inside. Their guards fly around and do a really good job of causing some havoc.
How big is Schliemann?
He's 6'4".
Oh, so he's got some good
6'4". But they had a kid that we knew on tape could shoot it well, so we kind of shaded to his side, and their guards got in gaps, and they made a lot of mid-range jump shots, and then their pressure bothered us. So Bryce Nanica picked up a second foul in the first quarter, and then we had to make some adjustments on how we wanted to attack their zone, and we just didn't handle that very well. So I think we ended the quarter with 4 straight turnovers, and something that was close ended up going to 23-12 at the end of the first. So we dig that hole, and then it just kind of snowballed on us for a while. Come out in the third quarter, we get a couple of stops. We make a couple of nice diagonal passes, get a layup, get another kick out, and it starts to feel like, we're going to get into a flow, and then we make a couple bad mistakes, and there's a 6-0 run, there's an 8-0 run, and then, their talent just kind of took over. So, there's a lot that we have to work on, but like I told the boys after the game, I said, we can be frustrated with how we played at times, but we're only 30 days into a new system. We have 3 more months to find out who are we, what are we going to do, where do we want to be at the end of the year, so there's a lot of improvement that's going to take place in these next 90 days.
Coach, is it tough to do a long road trip like that on a school night?
I mean, it's tough the next morning for sure. You wake up and you're tired, and you could tell that the kids were worn out today at practice, but they came in focused, and we got after it. Bottom line, it's on to the next game, and we're focused on South Newton. If we have tired legs, we're a little bumped or bruised, we got a job to do, and that job's to push our teammates and push our friends on the floor to get better, handling pressure, boxing out, being tougher, all those little things that it takes to finally get a win, that's our goal. We've got to do those things on a daily basis.
So through 3 games, what are you happy with, and what do you really need to work on?
Well, there's so many little things, and that's what we've tried to focus on is if you take care of the little things, the big picture becomes more clear. And for us, it's kind of hard to know exactly who we're going to be because we've kind of played a level of competition a little bit above us right now. So this next stretch of games, there are going to be teams a little bit more like us, and we're going to get a better idea what is our identity. You know, we'd love to be able to play fast and get our athletes out in space, but we didn't handle the ball very well. Some of that was team's pressure. You know, they did a good job of putting some pressure on us, but some of that was just decision making, and that's something that will continue to improve as we learn how to handle the ball in situations that they've never really been put in before. You know, they lost a 4-year varsity starting point guard last year in Aiden White. And Aiden set up everything. Aiden got them into things, and Aiden did a great job of attacking other teams. And we don't have that kid. And they miss him, and it shows, but we've got to develop that talent. We've got to develop those skills. So we brought a freshman up from our JV, Brendan Grindstaff. He's going to be a nice point guard for us. So he's going to get some time, and he's going to gain some valuable experience. Connor Marlatte's still going to run our point as well. But it's a committee. You know, we've got to be better handling the basketball as a group.
Brad, do you look at the Midwest Conference as wide open? I mean, it looks like it to me. I don't.
Well, I mean, if you look at some of our records, then yeah, I mean, I think you would believe that. But I mean, I still looking at what I know from the conference. I think Tri-County's still, you know, right at the top. I know they're well coached. They've got good size. They've got good depth. I don't care what their record looks like right now. You know, we're all kind of battling teams that might be a little bigger and stronger than us, but when the dust all settles, they're going to be near the top. I would imagine Faith Christian will be too. I don't know a whole lot about them, but we're going to be looking at them quite a bit on film in the next week or so. And then I'd like to believe that by the time it all settles down that we've got a fighting chance. You know, we've got 8 returning kids. And those kids, you know, while they have a lot of experience, you know, we're going to continue to grow and get better and hopefully be in a position late in the season where we might be able to challenge for it.
Brad, 3KG will be over to South Newton on Friday night as the Rebels entertain you guys. Tell us about that game.
Well, I mean, we scrimmaged them earlier in the year, so they did some things that hurt us inside. They're big and strong and physical. You know, they do have a little bit more size and strength than we do. Their point guard got inside of us quite a bit in our zone quarter and did a good job of slashing, and they hit a couple of open threes when we also ran our zone quarter. So we have got to be a little more disciplined, keep them off the offensive boards. We'd like to push the pace. You know, we'd like to be able to get this thing out in the open floor. But we've got to be able to handle the basketball and make pretty good decisions. You know, I think my wing kids are athletic, and I think they can do a good job of trying to score in transition, but we've got to get to that point. So we've got to make sure that, number one, we keep them off the glass. You know, if you can't run if you don't rebound. And then we got to make some open shots. You know, one of our weaknesses so far has been shooting the basketball. We've hit 1 3 in one game, 2 in the next, and we hit 3 in our last one. So hopefully if that continues to progress, it looks like, you know, maybe we get 4 on Friday. But, you know, we've got to really try to spread the floor to help get better looks.
Do you like shooting a lot of threes or no?
I'm a big fan of it. I think that it can be a tremendous asset if you've got kids that have confidence to shoot it. Right now we're kind of lacking that confidence. You know, we talk about it all the time. We work on it consistently. But we have some kids that haven't been playing in those spots. You know, Christian Hughes has always kind of been a kid for West Central that's played inside, and we're using him from the perimeter a little bit more. So I think just as he gets a little bit more time and gets a little more confidence, you know, he's going to shoot that ball a lot better than maybe what he is right now. Brandon Grindstaff's one of the best shooters in our program. So bringing him up might help. You know, he can knock down jump shots. He's very confident in what he can do. And Connor Marlatte hit 2 last night. So Connor's going to continue to be more assertive and be able to look for his shot as well. So I think it's something we can grow into as we get more comfortable in a system. But to me, I mean, it's a weapon that we have to take advantage of.
Any other games the rest of the week or the start of next week?
We have Washington Township next Friday, so that gives us a week to kind of, you know, settle in.
So just one game this week then.
Yeah, and to me that's important because it gives us 4 days of preparation. And right now, I think that's critical for us to be able to improve and to be able to put in some new things or tweak some things that maybe we've struggled. Because when you're playing every couple of days, you don't get a whole lot of court time to adjust. It's just it's consistent. So, you get to a Friday and then a 4-day period and then a Friday, you can kind of relax and settle into a rhythm. And I think that'll kind of help next week.
Has coaching changed from 2023 back to when you did it in 2016 or 17, something like that?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, you get a little older and you struggle to get out of bed a little bit earlier. But I think, where I'm at right now, it's a lot more prep work than it was maybe 10 years ago. But I expected that. We were able to kind of manipulate a system on the girls' side where we were really long and athletic, and we can dictate how the game was going to be played and the pace that the game was going to be played, and we don't have that ability to do that right now. But that's something that we're going to hope to be able to build for in the future. We've got a junior high group that's really athletic, and they shoot the ball really well, and we're going to want to push the pace with them. So, you're always looking for, what fits your kids, and at a 1A basketball level, you're going to have to be very flexible. From year to year, it's not going to be the same.
JV Trojans, how are they doing?
We're 1-1. We only got 2 quarters against Culver. We played pretty well against Argus at home. And then last night, Marquette Catholic had some athletes on the JV, and even when we did things really well, Marquette Catholic hit some contested threes. So they're learning. They're learning to play an aggressive style of basketball, and I think they're enjoying it. And that's the key. You want your young kids to thrive by playing hard, and they're pushing each other each day in practice, and they're getting better.
Brad, we'll see you Friday, and thanks for coming over.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Brad Odom from the West Central Trojans, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3KG, thekage.com right after this.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
Welcome back to 3KGthekage.com. Bob Kurtz, Bill K. Scotty Miller with you here on Wednesday night, live from Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer. Joining us now is South Newton boys coach Ricky Monemeyer. Ricky, so far I'm sure the season isn't off to what you want it to be, but tell us a little bit about how the Rebs are, coming along and growing as a young team.
Okay. Yeah, not where we wanted to. We knew last weekend was going to be a tough weekend. Our first game of the season, which we talked about last week, competitive game. I think we should have probably won if we turned the ball over a little less. And then this last weekend we had Seeger and Delphi at home, both pretty good opponents, both experienced groups, very senior heavy, at least for Seeger. And then Delphi had some kids that have just played the last couple of years. So 2 tough matchups. Luke Hoskins ended up getting hurt halfway through the Seeger game. Didn't play the rest of the weekend. Chase Stillbauer didn't play last weekend. So we had a lot of young guys in positions they're not really used to. We brought some kids up from JV level to play a little bit of minutes for us. So trying to feel things out and see where we're at. But it's been a pretty good week of practice so far. Got a conference game Friday, so hopefully we're ready to roll Friday night.
Take us through the games from last week.
Okay. So Seeger, we end up losing that game 58-34. Like I said, not super competitive for us at all. We played much better the second half. But the first half, they just kind of did everything they wanted. They had a pretty good starting 5. They had one kid in double figures, and the rest were like 8, 9 points each. So they shot the ball well. They ran the floor, a little bit of pressure. Just an experienced group. And I said that, I think, last week talking about it, but Coach Collins has always got a pretty good group. They're stingy and tough to score on usually, and then they can usually score pretty well. So tough matchup for us, especially when Luke went down second half. Kind of changed some things up for us, but we had some kids do some pretty good things. Matthew Armstrong led us with 13 points, and he had 5 rebounds. And then we had a couple kids with 5. Dominic Scott had 5, and then Lucas Piguski had 5. But yeah, so that was Friday night, and then Saturday night we hosted Delphi. They're down their best kid right now. We thought it'd be a more competitive game if we would have had Chase and Luke, but we didn't. So looking at stats from that game, they took it to us from the get-go. Very rough game for us. Again, we played a little better second half, but you can't lay a goose egg in the first quarter and expect to win a game. So we did have a couple bright spots. We had a JV kid that we split him time this weekend. He played 3 quarters of JV on Saturday and 2 quarters of varsity. He ended up scoring 25 in the 3 quarters of JV.
Man.
And then he led us in scoring in the 2 quarters he played on varsity. So
what a night. Who was that?
Colton Marks. He did not play last year as a sophomore, newcomer for us. He was at the school last year. He just didn't play. So imagine how mad that makes us, right? Seeing him do as well as he's doing now. But
wow.
No, he played great Saturday.
What a night.
Combined for 35 in the 5 quarters he got to play. So he's definitely earned himself some more time. Very smooth kid, long, athletic, good guard. He's just got to figure out the system and stuff like that now. He's just kind of raw with everything, with not playing for a couple years. But great kid, very coachable, a lot of effort, flies around the floor, very long. He's got a bright future ahead of him. But yeah, he led us with 10. Armstrong had 6. And then we had a couple guys, and Owen Firkins had 4, a couple guys with 2. But not a lot of scoring in that game. It was a very tough go.
Do you expect Stillbauer to be back Friday?
Yeah, no, he'll be back Tuesday next week. So he's out this weekend. We're not sure about Luke yet. Luke rolled his ankle pretty good, and he's still kind of hobbling around. So it's kind of a toss-up if he's going to play Friday or not. Unless he practices tomorrow, I don't feel like it's a good chance. He hasn't practiced yet this week. So we've been making him ice it and rehab it and stuff with Dr. Moss. So hopefully he's back, but no guarantees. And I know, West Central, they've lost 3 games, but they've also been putting up a little bit of points. Between Naniga and the Schliemann kid, they've been really scoring. So
well, we heard their version of what they're going to do Friday night. Let's talk about the scouting report for West Central.
They're long, athletic, can run the floor. They can shoot a little bit. Another percentage, not sure they can shoot a little bit right now, but I think long term they'll be all right shooting the ball. With not having Luke possibly, the inside matchup's going to be a little tough. They've got the Schliemann kid's about 6'5", and then the other kid down low is like 6'2"-ish, so they got a little bit of size. Marline's a pretty good guard, and then Naniga's, he's very good, athletic, can score off the dribble, can kind of do what he wants. So we've got some tough matchups. We'll have to do some mixing and matching, but I think most Midwest Conference games are super competitive for the most part. Very physical, very chippy usually. So I don't expect anything less on Friday night when we play them. But I'm excited to see what our guys can do. Like, we've got a lot of younger guys coming through. We'll be very, I think, sophomore heavy, junior heavy this weekend. So I'm just hoping to see more growth from those guys and see if they can, fill some voids that we're missing right now with Luke and Chase off the floor.
Any other games this week or the start of next week?
Yeah, we have Watsika on Saturday. They're coming over to us. Illinois school. They're like 20 minutes away from us. Competitive game with them last year. They got 2 little guards that are very good shooters, a little bit of size inside, but it should be a very competitive game for us. And then next Tuesday, before I see you guys again, we go to Cissna Park, and they've got a guard that is very, very good, might be the best one that we see all year, and he's only a sophomore. Last year, when we played Cissna Park at home, he played – Illinois has a different rule with their quarters.
Yeah, what's it like playing an Illinois team? What's the difference?
So – playing him at home is not awful, but playing in Illinois is a little different. I've always said it's just a feel, but like the games just feel like they're very differently officiated than it is in Indiana. I don't know if
how so.
Just they let the ticky-tack stuff go. Like they don't call a lot of like little fouls. Like you have to really foul somebody to get a foul call kind of thing.
You have to adjust to that.
So our kids got to adjust to that, and usually we. It's tough too, and you're used to getting that call most games, and you're not when you go over there. But Cissna Park is a very small school. I think they're under 100 kids total in the high school. They're at like 90, 92 usually, maybe in the 70s. Like they're a pretty small school.
DeMont Christian-y, like almost.
Right. Which we play like 2 schools like that. Donovan, same way. They've only got like 60, 70 kids in the whole high school, if that. Like they graduate classes of like 10 to 12, 15 kids.
Short graduation ceremony.
Right. Yeah.
Is Watsika, even though they're over the border, is that a good rivalry for you guys since so close?
I think basketball-wise, yeah, for sure. I think we've pretty much played them for a long time. They took us off the schedule for a while when they were pretty good, I think, like 10 or so years ago. But when we went back to Illinois for that conference.
You used to play in Illinois conference.
They were in that conference. So, like, since then, we've just kept them on the schedule. And I like the game. It's a close game. You're 20 minutes away. Similar play styles. So, like, it feels like a Midwest Conference game, I guess, when we go over there or they come to us. So, but, yeah, like I said, very competitive game. Cissna Park, touch on them a little bit. But they that guard, sophomore last year, the quarter thing over there is weird, too. They don't have a quarter restriction per se as like we do. They play more games over there, but the kids get more quarters while they're over there too. So this kid last year against us played all 4 quarters of JV and an overtime, and then played all 4 quarters of varsity against us.
Oh, man.
I swear, I think he had almost 30 in the JV game, and then he had like 10, 15 points in the varsity game.
But you still have to abide by the Indiana rules, even though you play in Illinois.
Yeah, and when they come to us, they still play by the Illinois rules. So, yeah, so
that's an advantage
for them. Yeah. If our JVs play, though, I feel like it wears a kid down a little bit. I mean, that's a lot of basketball in one night. You're playing,
no kid,
basically, 9 quarters or whatever. So, we'll see what we can do. I think we saw him a little bit over the summer. We saw him over at Donovan for a little shootout, but very good guard. I think like it's gonna be a tough matchup for us because he's just so skilled with the ball. He can score off the dribble. He can shoot. He can defend really well. He's got quick hands. Like he's pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited about this weekend. Excited for our first Midwest Conference matchup, and hopefully we can be competitive.
How are the JV Rebels faring so far?
Pretty good. So against Delphi, before I took Colton off the floor, we were winning that game by 11 going into the 4th, and we ended up losing that game by 7 or so. So it shows you the impact that he made on the JV floor. He was just dominating the game. They haven't won a game yet, but Delphi was super competitive. Seeger not so much, and then Riverton Park was kind of a rough to start, but then they made it super competitive in the second half. So a lot of young kids in that group. We've got a lot of first-year guys. They're not necessarily freshmen, but we have a couple kids that are sophomores that didn't play last year that are playing now. And then our freshman group, we've got 3 kids that are playing a lot of JV times. So,
Ricky, we'll see you Friday night.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Coach.
Ricky Monemeyer from the South Newton Rebels. Back with more of the Coach's Cage on the Cage right after this.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
All right, Bob Kurtz is
deferring.
Yeah, as usual here.
It used to be a 3-cage. Now I don't even know anymore. It might just be a 1-cage show. With this guy around, now he's back.
You're lucky I'm here today.
Coach Wes Radke of the Rensselaer Central Lady Bombers.
2 days in a row we've had to deal with him.
Hey, he's coming off maybe one of the best Lady Bomber wins in a long, long time, Bob.
It wasn't stressful or anything.
No. Nothing was stressful about that game.
How much tougher was it to beat BC the second time here?
It was hard. It was not easy. It was tough, and we knew it was going to be a challenge for us. And
they got some talented players.
And again, if we do what we're supposed to do and not put them to the free throw line as much as we did, I think that's a big factor in the game as well, where we could have separated ourselves a little bit more and made it a little more comfortable if we don't put them to the line as much when we're trying to tell them to stop fouling and just play good, solid defense. And sometimes you have, in the style of which we play, you guys heard me say this the other day, we get fouls called because the style of which we play. But it's the reaching, and when you're 30, 40, 50, 60 feet away from the basket, those are the ones we don't need. And that last night, some of those were that. And if we had not put them to the free throw, they shot 25 free throws. And, a really good team, and not saying that they're not, but, if they make 25 out of 25, we're not talking about us winning that game. So it's It's one of those situations where that is one of the things we have to continue to get better at and fine tune and continue to talk with the girls. But it was a good win. It was a tough win, and the way things play out, we may have to play them again for the third time in the sectional. So
take us through the game.
I got a question for you, or maybe just a comment here. Free throws, they had a big disparity. I mean, they in the first half, they outscored you probably by 10 at least. Minimum, I think you were 2 for 5. But you guys really stepped up, especially in that fourth quarter. I think, was that your best free throw shooting performance this year?
Actually, no. We had one the other night against Twin Lakes. We shot Twin Lakes, yeah.
I was looking at your season stats.
Yeah.
They're not very good. They're 50,
sometimes we shoot them well, sometimes we don't. And there was, I think, the Twin Lakes game, we wasn't too bad, but sometimes we're on and sometimes we're off, and we hit them at the right moments and the right times. And last night was probably one of the better nights. I think like 78% shooting from the line. So that was definitely, when you can shoot 78% from the line, you're going to finish a lot of games off, and that's something we work on in practice every day. Every single day in practice, we work on free throws. It's
you sure hit them when they count.
Yeah, and games won or lost at the free throw line, and you can have the best defense in the world, do all the things that you're supposed to do, and when it was time to step up to that free throw line, that's something that's got to be automatic for us, and it's something we're continuing to work on. And last night, you're right, at key times, especially in that third quarter, when we were kind of struggling to score and they were making their runs, that's what really kept us close within striking distance the whole time, is that we were able to hit those free throws. And Taylor hits 3 out of 4, and Carly Drone hits 4 out of 4, and then Sarah Kaufman in that fourth quarter, when she turned it up a notch, was 2 for 2. And so those are big shots and big free throws and stuff that we just got to continue to work at.
Carly Drone has got one of the nicest shots from the free throw line. Boy, she's smooth.
Yeah, it's she's got a routine down. She shot a lot of shots, and she's got that routine down where it's just it's muscle memory and a lot of reps, and when she's dialed in at that, she's pretty tough to beat.
All right, take us through the game now.
So after the first quarter, it's 19-17. We're up, and you guys were there. It was just a battle, back and forth. We hit a shot, they hit a shot, they go on a run, we go on a run, and it was just one of those where both teams were. Nobody was going to give an inch, and it was going to be a fight from the very start to the very end. And we got into the halftime, and we were up 31-23. We made a run at them. Cadence and Taylor both hit some threes, and Drone had a layup, and Courtney came in and turned up the notch on some things and got some deflections, and we turned them over quite a bit that second quarter, which helped us. We went on a 12-6 run, and we go into halftime 31-23. But knowing that you can't just settle on that. We hadn't played our best basketball, and they hadn't given us their best punch yet either. And we told the girls coming out in the third quarter, they're going to give you everything they got, and you have to respond. And again, we tell them that, and they come out in the third quarter, and everybody looks at me like, what? What did you tell them at halftime? What is going on? Because they go on a 20-13 run on us, and at the end of the third quarter, it's 43-44. We're up by 1 point, and we're in a fight. We're in a battle, and I told the girls, I said, it's not like you're going through the fire now. We're in the fire. We've been in the fire. We've never not every game in everything that we do. We're in this fire, and we got to come through this together, and the girls fought going into that fourth quarter.
A lot of girls in foul trouble, too.
And I was going to say, a lot of girls were in foul trouble between Kaufman. She didn't play the whole second quarter because I need her. I need her on the floor, especially the second half, and I can't have her on the floor in that second quarter if she, she's not adjusted to the game at that point in time. Just wasn't feeling, the situation warranted her to have to play that second quarter when I have a bench like I have between Courtney, between Brody, between Jesse Fleming and Brooke Keipke and Bailey Radke. to be able to depend upon those girls to say, hey, if we need something, Olivia Kane, another freshman, that we can fill people in there to get us through to where we need to be at and really not miss much. But I tell you what, that fourth quarter, Sarah coming out that halftime, I looked at her and said, now, if anybody out here, you should have more energy because you sat a whole quarter. And she kind of chuckled, I think, if I remember correctly, and she came out that fourth quarter, and I really think that helped her having that energy, that extra step, and because there was a time that I felt that, BC was a little gassed. I thought they were a little bit exasperated on things because they only have a two-man rotation, and I thought Gick and some of them were starting to, slow down a little bit, and then Sarah found her niche and started, playing at the level she's capable of playing and really separated us from there and made some runs. Trone had airballed 2 threes in a row. She airballs 2 threes in a row, and she doesn't. She gets upset, obviously, and we're like, hey, we've missed a couple. Let's move. And then that third shot, when she shot it was a big 3. And a big confidence booster for her. You just saw the weight come off of her. You saw us get excited more, and you saw BC they're deflate a little bit because, man, they had us on the ropes. And
we moved the lead from 1 to 4.
Yeah,
right?
And it was within striking distance for them, and they were shooting free throws. We would put them in a foul situation. That next time we foul, they're shooting free throws, and they could tie it up or take it lead by 1. So with her hitting that shot was big. And also, and you guys made mention to it, we just started rebounding better. We started getting to the loose balls more. We started getting to the 50-50 balls more that we told the girls we had to have. And just the offensive rebounds and putbacks and just keeping the ball alive. And, okay, don't force it, kick it back out, and let's move it around. Let's use some time on the clock. And the girls really responded. And Taylor – does a nice job of getting to the lane in the last one and making some nice passes. And Courtney fouls out of the game. And when you look at a freshman who is so engaged in the game, most freshmen look at you like, oh, shoot, coach, I just fouled out. And she was mad that she fouled out, but she had made such a contribution to the team that, it was hard to get her. You fouled out. You have to come off the floor. I know you want to play, but this is a situation. And that is where Camry was struggling. Some of the other girls, this and that. So that's where you have to trust your teammates. They're going to pick you up from where maybe you fouled out of the game or you made a bad pass or whatever happens or you're just having a bad game. That's what a good team does. They pick each other up, and it was nice to see the girls respond that way. So we ended up winning 59-52.
And the lead scores?
Drone had 14 and Van Meter had 14. So both of them double figures. And then Courtney Matthew had 8. Sarah Kaufman had 6. And 6 of those points came in that fourth quarter. And then Cadence had, let me find her name here. Cadence had 10. And, Roland had 5 and Brody had 2. So, again, a lot of contribution there. 3 kids in double figures. And that's nice to see, especially against a good quality team like BC. And we came out of there with another win in the conference now, and we're 2-0 in the conference. We beat a good Twin Lakes team and a good BC team, so we just got to keep working, staying humble, staying hungry, and keep getting after it.
I think you hit 5 3-pointers in the first half. That really kept you, on top of things, and just a super shooting.
Yeah, 5, and we shot a lot of threes. When I did the stats, I got the stats. I mean, we shot 22 threes. That's a lot of threes. That's probably more than I would like as a coach, because some of them I think we didn't take within the offense. I don't mind a kid shooting the 3 if we're in the offense and you're moving and you're shooting the ball in rhythm. It's those ones where you just come down and chuck it up that unless you're doing a heat check and you're on fire, and anybody that knows basketball, the difference, that we have to make sure that we're not just coming down settling for those shots, but moving the ball, being active, and getting the good looks, and then shooting the ball in rhythm. We shoot the ball in rhythm, we're dead on. And so, again, I thought we shot the ball well at times, and other times not so much, and we have to make some adjustments there.
What's up next?
So tomorrow we travel to Delphi. And Delphi is not going to. It's always it's a rough place to play. It's after a game like last night where we expend a lot of energy, expel a lot of energy, and a lot of exertion of physical muscles and running up down the floor. It's going to be a good test for us to get on the bus and now travel to Delphi to play against a team that's 7-3. They're playing well. They're doing some good things, and they got the Pickering girl, they got the Roth girl. Both of them, can put the ball in the hole at any time, and they got a new coach there. So he's got his system rolling in there. And so we're going to see some zone. We're going to see some man. We're going to see some different things that they're going to run at us and try to get us off our game. But we have to come ready to bring the energy and the intensity that we have and pick up where we left off on Tuesday night.
Is that it for this week then?
Yeah, so then we don't play again until the following Tuesday, and we travel the first time to Andrean. To take on the 59ers there. We picked them up last year and put them on the schedule. So we'll travel up there to Andrean on next Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday of next week is the South Newton game with boy-girl doubleheader.
JV Bombers, how are they doing now?
Last night didn't handle things too well. They kind of struggled against a bigger BC team, which we had beaten them at the IU Hoops Classic. The
Really?
JV did, yeah.
Wow.
And turned around, and they just we didn't handle their pressure very well, so that was kind of rough. But other than that, they're doing well. They're fun to watch. They get them down the floor. I think they are, if I'm not mistaken, like 6-5 right now. Some of those games aren't really games because they're 2 quarters, but 6-5, and Coach Van Meter is doing an excellent job with them. We got some freshmen on there. We got a couple sophomores that play and one junior, so. They're doing a good job, and they're fun to watch and coach, and he's bringing them along really well, and looking forward to watching them play tomorrow night as well.
Did you survive your birthday attack from yesterday?
I did survive the birthday attack. I
No
had,
injuries or anything?
Maybe a slight concussion. Maybe a sugar. I was thinking, man, could you absorb sugar into your skin? and maybe that's why I didn't sleep last night, because I was having sugar.
So the girls after the game, what'd they do to you?
So the deal was, yesterday was my birthday, and the girls had mentioned, I believe it was Fleming, so I'm going to have to get back with Fleming on some of this stuff, but I believe she had bet me that when we beat BC that they could smash a cake in my face. And I agreed to it. I had no idea it was going to be 17 cupcakes. And so we're at the end of the bench.
One at a time, probably.
Yeah, and we're at the end of the bench, and there's video proof and there's evidence. I mean, we're at the end of the bench, and I'm shaking hands with Baxter, and all of a sudden, I thought I was getting mugged. I thought it was. It was just one after another.
From behind,
behind, in the front, in the back. So I couldn't even get to the locker room, and again, there's another picture of Kaufman literally up on my back, a foot over my head, still smashing it in my face. They tell me they like me. They tell me they love me and they like playing for me. But when you look at those pictures, I kind of wonder a little bit if it's the truth or not. But no, I absolutely adore and appreciate every one of those girls. And it was well worth every cupcake and every piece of sugar that went in my ears. And it was well worth. I do it 1,000 times over for them. Just to have that experience and to watch the joy in their face to be able to accomplish something that's never been done before at Rensselaer. And that's beating BC twice, and that's now winning 11 games in a row. That's never been done at Rensselaer. They had a 10-game winning streak when Marlowe coached. It was 10 games they had won, but never started off a season, as far as anybody knows, as 11-0.
Well, keep it rolling.
So we're looking forward to keep it rolling tomorrow night. And we have a good chance here to roll for a while, and we're just going to keep it one game at a time. The girls are going to keep working at it. I know you guys asked me, what are you going to do? We went to work today. I sweated, they sweated, and we had work. We worked at things, and we're not satisfied. We're not done yet.
Great crowd last night too.
Oh, absolutely. For a Tuesday night, for a girls basketball game. 8 years has taken us to get to where we're at. I mean, the last time that gym was that big and that loud was, I believe, a few years ago when we played South Central in the sectional championship game when it was packed in. But it was awesome for those girls. And that has been one of my huge goals, is for these girls to play in front of a huge crowd night in and night out, because they deserve it. And I thank Bomber Nation and everybody coming out. Heck, there were people there that I never seen before, didn't even know who they were. My wife said, the bad thing about winning is that people show up and they sit in your seat where you normally sit. She said, there's people sitting in my seat where I normally sit that I don't even know who they are. And I said, that's part of it. Gladly give your seat up for those and let them experience and watch these girls, because they're a blast to coach, to watch, to be around. They're all about the team. They're all about their teammates. They care about their teammates. They care about what goes on. And so just a great bunch of girls.
Wes, we'll see you next week.
All right, we'll see you, fellas. Thanks.
Wes Radke from the Rensselaer Central Lady Bombers, back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Every day you listen to the news, but how is that news affecting your financial world? Things like your retirement and your kids' college fund. You need someone who can help you work towards your goals. Someone to help you move forward in the times of change. Call Mindy Byer at Morgan Stanley. Mindy has 20 years of experience as a financial advisor, and she's right here in Northwest Indiana. To make an appointment with Mindy Byer, call 765-420-8433. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, and Scotty Miller back with you on the Coach's Cage Show on 3KG, thekage.com. If you want to listen to or watch any of our archive games, just go to our website and click on archives, and they'll be right there. You can watch them anytime you want to, after the show's over with, during the show, whenever. So that's how we do it there. And we put them up on Facebook as soon as we can, as soon as I get to edit them. So it may take a while, but eventually they'll get to Facebook, to YouTube, so our YouTube channel. Bill Shepard has joined us now from the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Billy, good to see you. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing all right. A little better than last week, that's for sure. So one game to talk about. Nice win for the Cougs, huh?
Yeah. We had our home opener last Saturday night against the Couch Mustangs, and played real well defensively. We really turned up the intensity on defense on them, and that was the sticking point all week long, or the focus all week long was our defense. I thought at Lebanon our intensity wasn't there until it was too late, and we just didn't come out ready to go. And that was the whole thing this week, is we got to be intense from the very first second, and we were. We got out to 20-5 lead at the end of the first quarter, and really never looked back after that. We were at 59-23 at the end of three quarters, so it was just one of those where we just kept pretty much consistently building, and then played the reserves the whole fourth quarter, so kind of slowed up a little bit there, but still won 65-31. So it was still a good home opener for us, and really set the tone with our defense, and that helped our offense get going as well.
That's got to make you feel good as a coach to have a game like that. Not many games like that throughout the year.
Oh, exactly, and it was. I know the kids were a little bit juiced up for the being the home opener and everything too, so that helped out. But yeah, I mean it's we don't have a whole lot of these types of games where and Couch isn't typically down like that either. So it's not it's not like you can count on Couch to be that way every year. So we were just kind of in our upswing, and they're just kind of in a rebuilding phase, and just kind of that you get those cycles sometimes where that's kind of how you just meet up, and that's kind of that's what happened I think the other night.
And you had a milestone for one of your players, right?
Yeah, actually, Cam Webster, 6'4" senior guard, scored his 1,000th point late in the second quarter for us. He needed 16 coming into the game, and he wound up leading us with 25. Only played 3 quarters, but that's really all he needed to play that night. But yeah, he scored his 16th point sometime in the last few minutes of the second quarter, so it was really good. We stopped the game for a second and recognized that, and it was just good for him. One of the things that I know when you're getting close to 1,000. I mean, this is the third one I've coached at KV since I've been since I've coached there. And as you're getting to 1,000, someone was like, someone was telling me leading up to the game, I wonder if Cam knows. I'm like, what do you mean? I wonder if Cam knows. I mean the kid knows. It's not just Cam. Any kid knows it's getting close to 1,000.
Right.
And I thought he did a great job. I mean, me and him talked after practice. I sat down with him alone for a little bit after practice on Saturday morning. I'm like, listen, tonight's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen. Just don't try to make it happen. Just let it happen. And I thought he did a really good job all first half until he got to 9.99. And when he got to 9.99, the next couple of times he started forcing a couple shots, and it was like, all right, he's done really well. Let's call timeout. Let's draw something up for him and see if we can't get something good for him here, so he doesn't have to keep making stuff up. And we got him a bucket out of the timeout, and you could just tell that relaxed him, and he was good to go the rest of the time. So I thought he did great with that. He also set the school 3-point career mark that night.
Made,
yeah. So obviously he's gonna keep adding to that as the year goes on. But that was a little known record that I didn't even know about until after the game. That his mom told me, hey, I think he did this tonight too. And I'm like, okay. So so we checked up on it actually on Monday at school, and we found out that was indeed the case. It was Danny Llewellyn had it at 144, and I mean, Cam's at like 149 right now. So he had 6 threes the other night, so he was at 143 coming in, so he wound up breaking that as well. So it was a milestone night for him for a couple ways, and he's going to continue to add to that as the year goes on.
Who was your other 1,000-point scorers that you had?
Gavin Harriman a few years ago. Of course, he scored most of them at back in the day at Covenant, but he came over and wound up getting his 1,000th at Kankakee Valley, and then Danny Llewellyn. Back in the day, he got his 1,000th his senior year as well. So those are the 3 that I've had now with Cam. Since I've been KB.
Who's the leading scorer for KB boys basketball?
Rick Sietzma, 13 something, and I mean we don't talk a whole lot about it, but I mean Cam is on pace to beat that sometime in February.
Adam Chopper second.
That I don't know. I just know who's first.
Knows first. Okay.
Actually, no. I don't think Adam is. I think KB's had only 5,000 or 6,000 point scores in their career, and Adam's not on that list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, Cam's on pace for that. So that's going to be the next thing, but that's not going to be probably until we won't be starting to count points again until sometime in February. So but that'll be really cool if and when that happens. I mean, I was just talking to some coaches over there that KB's been around for 51 years. And that's. You can say that you're the leading scorer in the career for that school. I mean, that's something.
That is. Who else played well for you that night?
Our junior Bobby Lalonde, he had 4 threes that night. Had 14 points for us. He was he missed his first couple of shots, and I don't know what happened, but he came walking by the bench, and he's like, I'm not missing again. And then all of a sudden,
that's good confidence.
All of a sudden, the next 3 threes are bang, bang, bang. It was like, after the second one, I turned to the bench, I said, he did say he wasn't going to miss again. So. So he had 14. Eli Deerdorf came off the bench and had 9 points for us. He had a really good game off the bench. Jeremiah Jones, our starting center, had 8 points. He had a really solid dunk in the first half that I think his head was at the rim when he jumped up. He was way up in the air. He just works. Jeremiah just works so hard. I mean, it's like he never gets tired. I mean, he just works his tail off, and he's a big kid anyway, and just such a good kid. He's one of those unsung guys that you have to have. But he's not going to get the headlines because he's not going to score the 25. But he's gonna make all the hustle plays and do all the things you need to do to win a ball game. So it's pretty much a total team effort at this point. We're still trying to figure some things out with this group and trying to make it better. But we're 2-1 right now. We're pretty happy with where we're at, and just got to keep tweaking the pieces and moving the chess pieces around a little bit to see if we can get a little bit better combinations, and because our schedule toughens up.
Seems like Lalonde could be an X factor for you guys if he really comes on and provides the scoring consistently. That he can be a difference maker.
Oh yeah, and he really knows basketball. I mean, he is a smart basketball player. I mean, he really knows the game. So it's one of those things where you just feel comfortable when he's on the court and with the ball in his hands that the right decision is going to be made, whether it's to shoot or to pass or to attack or whatever. I mean, the right decision is going to be made, and he sees the floor way better than a lot of people we have. And so, I mean, he's going to be an X factor in a lot of ways. And really, for his height, about 5'9", 5'10", he rebounds really well for a guard. So it's just one of those things where he's going to be an X factor, but I think in a lot of ways, not just putting the ball in the basket, but just knowing. Like when he's on defense, he knows where the next pass is going to go. So he anticipates that, and I mean he's just a good ball player all around.
How JV Cougs doing?
Well, they're 1-2 right now. It's kind of weird. I mean, they just can't put the ball in the basket. They've the first game Utah beat Rensselaer pretty handily. But anyway, they came back against Lebanon, losing overtime, and. Which I think they lost in overtime, like 29-27. I mean, both teams don't score 30 in overtime. It's kind of weird. And then they lose to Counts in double overtime, and I think it was like 36-34 or something like that. It was like
defense is okay.
Oh, they play really good D, and they cannot put the ball in the basket. They have not given up 30 points in regulation in the JV game all year. And it's
and
like,
they're 1-2.
How are you not 3-0 at this point in time? But they just have a hard time scoring themselves, and we continue to work on that with them, but that's just something they kind of fight through a little bit, and their schedule's not going to get any easier either. As ours toughens up, theirs toughens up. So, but they're a great group of kids. Like I said, they work their tails off, and they're just tremendous defenders. It's just they got to start getting a little more comfortable on the offensive end.
Play a rare Thursday night game tomorrow night, huh?
Oh yeah. We host the Morgan Township. They come in and they're number 6 or 7 in 1A. So that's going to be I know it's just 1A, but that's still, I mean, when you're ranked, and that's going to be a pretty significant challenge for us. They beat us in a couple close games last year, and so we're hoping that we can turn that around a little bit this year at our place, and then Saturday night we head up to Valparaiso and play the Vikings up there. So. Things get turned up here. We were talking to the kids at the start of the week about the next 8-game stretch we have, and it's difficult. We could go 0-8 all the way to 8-0 and anywhere in between. And
you like that though?
Oh yeah. It gives you an opportunity to see what you can become. And like I said, I thought we played pretty well for 3 games overall. I mean, we had the hiccup at Lebanon that we didn't come out well in, but we're still trying to shift some pieces around and make some changes and. Trying to get our team a little bit more consistent because, at the end of the day, when sectionals come around, you got to beat the Valpos and Chestertons and Crown Points of the world. And we're just trying to get ourselves in a position where we think we might be a little bit more equipped to do that. And even though we beat Couch 65-31, that's cool and all, but, we're still thinking, is this really the best we got as far as, who's on the court and where they're playing at and who's got the ball in their hands? And as coaches, you're always thinking about stuff like that, so...
Billy, thanks for coming down. Appreciate it. And good luck, and we'll see you next week, all right?
We'll be around. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Bill Shepard from the KV Cougars, back at Chalk with Chad Pulver from Rensselaer Central after this on 3KGthekage.com.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Midwest Contractor Services of Rensselaer, with over 15 years of experience, offers both insulation and gutter services for new construction and existing homes in Jasper, Newton, Lake, and Porter counties. You could save money and lower energy bills by adding more insulation to your house. New installation project? Let Midwest Contractor Services offer you a custom insulation package that fits your needs. Leaves in your gutter? Let us give you a price on leaf protection products that really work and are affordable. Call Marty or Mark at Midwest Contractor Services today at 219-866-0755 and get an estimate for your project.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Back on the Coach's Cage on 3KG, thekage.com. Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, Scotty Miller with you here, ready to wrap things up with Chad Pulver from the Rensselaer Central Bomber Boys basketball team. Chad, good to see you. How's it going tonight?
It's going well. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Well, a couple of tough games in the Lafayette tournament last week. Made it
after such a good start.
Yeah, good start. But then Friday and Saturday was not so good for the Bombers.
It was rough. We were not able to close the gap with West Lafayette. We started in, and it was a pretty close game up until about midway through the second quarter, and we just had a lapse of just too many possessions in a row and gave them a little bit of a run, and they went into halftime 10 points up. We rallied back and were able to cut the lead to 5, and in the fourth quarter, I mean, it was a close. I mean, I'm sure for fans it was an exciting game to watch. We didn't necessarily come back and take the lead, but we didn't go away. We stayed in it. We just couldn't quite close the gap enough, and so I mean, we had that last maybe 3 minutes of the game. I mean, during our timeout, we were able to talk specifically about, at that time we were down 6, about it's just 6 points. Like we can do this, and then we just couldn't close the gap, and then had to rely on fouling, and then they hit some shots, and so we ended up losing that game by 10. And so we thought it put us in a position to be able to roll it on Saturday and correct some of the things that we thought we needed to do. And so we met on Saturday morning, went over some film, walked through some things. Our guys were very, very tired, and we knew that, and so it certainly showed on Saturday. We showed up, and within the first couple minutes, our energy wasn't quite right. We weren't clicking. We weren't communicating very well, and we couldn't seem to get a groove enough to get us back on track. I mean, it didn't matter what offense we called. It didn't matter what defense we were trying to do. We just didn't seem to execute very well.
You played against Lafayette Jeff, right?
We did. That was our Saturday. Was at Lafayette Jeff against Lafayette Jeff.
Anybody play well over the weekend or no?
On Friday night, Corbin Matthew and Caden Rowland both had very strong offensive games. We had good rebounding by the squad. We did play well on Friday night. It just wasn't enough to beat West Lafayette, which is, it's a tall order, but I think everyone in the locker room knew that we could have won that game. It wasn't where we walked in and kind of were like, oh, shucks, we were close and that's good enough. Like, no one felt that way. And then on Saturday, it was a long locker room talk after a game that just from beginning to end was not what we thought needed to be a representation of Bomber basketball, and really trying to get down to what do we have to do from here. I think all the coaches spoke. I think a lot of the players spoke, and it was we didn't have anything else to do that night. So losing that game and being in the locker room, we were there for quite a while, and that's what we needed to do, and we've started putting the pieces back together. And so this has been nice to have a few days of practice in a row to give us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with one more day before we go back on the road for 2 games, and with 2 teams that we had to perform well. In the last few years, it's been tough traveling to North White. We've struggled against North White, and then to follow it up with Twin Lakes, who again traditionally has handled us very well in the last 15 years. And so we have 2 big games in front of us that we need to perform well. We need to be locked in and make sure that we're doing what we need to do.
And when you play in that North White gym, it's one of the loudest gyms I've ever heard.
They have a great band there.
Yeah.
The student
Absolutely.
section's loud. Those rafters that are right there over the top of your head, and they flip off the lights except for the main floor, and they have the stage on the side, and so it's a great place to play. I mean, as far as some of those gyms that those of us that are in Indiana, appreciate and know, but I think people that are outside of Indiana don't realize how special those places are, and so it's a fun place to play.
Who ended up winning the Lafayette tournament?
Harrison.
Yes,
they ended up winning.
So tell us about North White. They're 2-2.
2-2. Yeah.
So, yeah.
They are. They have a mix of different style, I would say. They run a zone, and then they'll try to extend the floor a little bit with that zone. They run a 2-3 or a 2-3 or a 3-2 or a 2-3 zone, and they really want to stifle and keep things from being in a quick pace. And so we certainly are struggling with our half-court offense, and so what we want to do is get out and run, and so you may see them do exactly what we don't want to do, and so it could be a little bit of a chess match back
Better
and
know
forth.
where Dane Hood is, right?
Yes, exactly, and so we have to figure out how we're going to handle that and what we need to do, and make sure that if they're in zone that we make them pay for that, and if they go man to man, make them pay for that. And so we just have a lot of work that we need to do on our side, and this is one of those games where we have to perform, and we have to do more than just go one-on-one or isolate. We need to make sure that we're running a system offensively. And defensively, we're in the same boat. When we go out and pressure and then play our positioning defense correctly, I think we're tough to beat. When we do not do that well, the teams that we've played have been able to throw the ball in direct lines, and we chase it around, and it ends up with them scoring. And so we really do have a lot to prove to ourselves on Friday night.
Sounded like you could use these 4 days of practice here.
We really needed these 4 days of practice. I was really happy to have the Monday through Thursday to be able to work on things and address things and get some shots up and to try to correct some of the X's and O's on things. But the other part of it is that we need the guys to grow some confidence in themselves and each other for what we need to do in the coming weeks.
JV Bombers, how are they doing?
JV Bombers are learning a lot. They've done everything we've asked them to do. It doesn't show on the record side. They haven't put one in the win column yet. But as far as who we're asking to do the things, they really are performing as well as we can ask them to. And we really are holding them to wanting them to get better, wanting them to improve their skill set, and being able to read the floor a little bit better. We are playing a lot of first-year guys, and that's a hard jump from 8th grade to JV. And I know that around us that's a little bit more common. But when you start playing against larger schools like McCutcheon, West Lafayette, Lafayette Jeff, and Kankakee Valley, that's a hard jump going from 8th grade into JV. And so those guys have to learn quickly.
And I think, go ahead.
Is the medical report any better? Getting closer, some of these guys?
Well, our hope is that Brian will be back on Friday.
Oh, that's
and
great.
So yes,
Great.
and so we're he's very fatigued.
Off crutches,
he is. He's off crutches, and so we're hoping that holds, and we can play him on Friday and Saturday, and so that
limited amount, I assume, right?
Well, I mean. It's all based on the body at this point.
Yeah.
So if he's going well, then I'm not going to ask him too loudly if he wants to come out. So that's kind of where we are with the depth chart. So, but to have an extra set of legs to be able to run for us, I think is really important. When we went down to the Lafayette tournament, and we're pulling 2 JV guys that are split in time, and we only have one other sub that we're using, and so we have 8 that we're rotating, but only 6 that can play 4 quarters, and that's a high fatigue level, and I think that catches up to us pretty fast, and so we don't make excuses for it. It is exactly what we have to figure out and still find a way to win. But West Lafayette and Lafayette Jeff both were overwhelmed with they could really throw 8, 9, 10 guys at us, and we did not have that luxury to go back at them.
And don't you have a Tuesday game next week?
We do. We play Hanover Central at home next week, and then we have our doubleheader with South Newton on Friday for the boys and girls varsity, and then Thursday night for the JVs.
Chad, thanks for coming in, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Chad Pulver from the Rensselaer Central Bombers back to wrap things up on the Cage right after this.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Always an entertaining night, Billy, to talk with the coaches and players.
Yeah, that was a nice addition. I enjoyed that, having a different perspective. And,
sure.
She's well versed, Miss Tallman from Tri-County, and imagine that, her coming out on her 18th birthday here to join us. That's fun.
Well, speaking of fun, we got a couple of nights in a row here. Girls basketball, the battle for Newton County tomorrow night. South Newton at North Newton. We'll be on the air, 6:15?
Yeah,
somewhere
it'll
around there.
be a little earlier.
It's playing 2 quarters of
right.
JV at 5:30, so however long that takes, then we'll come on the air after that. And then Friday night at South Newton, Midwest Conference action as West Central comes over to South Newton. Billy, we'll see you tomorrow night, though.
All right, Bob, looking forward to it.
Thank all the sponsors for making the show possible. Beth and the gang here at Arnie's for treating us well every week. For my partners, Scotty Miller and Bill K., Bob Kurtz. So long, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.